DVD that it was.
Just learned that there's a John Deere kids
Oh, yeah, my neighbor has it.
YouTube. Okay, no, not the YouTube, but it's a John Deere children's YouTube channel.
Yeah, it just shows tractors.
And this child was obsessed with it.
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, please note the Bernardsville Borough Planning Board meetings will be held in person at the meeting hall on the second floor of the Bernardsville Municipal Building at 166 Minebrook Road, effective February 12th, 2026. Planning board meetings will begin at 7 p.m. Meetings will be live streamed on YouTube with no opportunity for public comment on YouTube. Members of the public wishing to offer comments or ask questions will be required to attend meetings in person. YouTube live stream access for all meetings is YouTube at Bernardsville Borough/streams. This link will also be available on the agenda for each meeting, which is posted on the Borough website, bernardsville.gov, and on the Borough Hall public bulletin board at least 48 hours prior to the meetings. Notice of these changes has been emailed to the Bernardsville News and Courier News, posted on the Borough website, and filed with the municipal clerk on January 2nd, 2026. It's the intention of the board not to continue any matter past 11 p.m. at any regular or special meeting of the board, unless the motion is passed by the members then present to extend to a later specified cutoff time, and same shall be announced at the opening of each meeting. In addition, the board does not intend to begin a new hearing after 10 p.m. nor begin testimony of a new witness after 10:30 p.m. Any hearing conducted by the board is a quasi-judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. Decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Roll call.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. DeMarco,
Present.
Ms. Geller,
Present.
Mr. Graham,
Here.
Mr. Malia,
Here.
Mr. Sassa,
Here.
Mr. Morrison is absent, Mr. Trainer is absent, and Mr. Villapiano.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, one quick thing, I mentioned it to Anthony on these, we have to, he'll talk to you, I think, but.
He did,
This makes whatever adjustments necessary,
but we don't need to make any.
because it's still okay to say Bernardsville News.
Well, because at the beginning of the year, for January and February, we were still using the newspapers. So it's saying that we provided it
Right,
in the Bernardsville News, the schedule for the year on January, I think it was 22nd.
as long as you figured it out, I just wanted to
Yeah.
figure out whether we had to
That's
send
correct.
it.
That's accurate. The annual schedule was put in before March 1.
Right,
So we put in the vertical news, March 1 forward, we start notices in all public agencies by posting them on the website.
okay,
Next year.
Better safe,
will
sorry.
be a website,
So we'll change that one.
we'll take a year to.
okay, so what's the story with our minutes,
We have December and February.
but not January, okay, any comments on any of the minutes?
The 12th is the meeting.
Okay, I'll take a motion I guess we have to do each one. Motion for December 11th minutes.
I'll move them. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And for February 12th,
Motion to approve the minutes for February 12th.
Second, Sasso.
oh, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No.
Shows no.
Okay, we've got a couple of soil conservation notices here, just letting us know. Is anyone here that wants to talk about anything that's not on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, come on down.
Angela DaCosta,
Or just stand on the edge there, there's an egg, whatever she says. Denise, where do you want her standing?
Angela DaCosta, 5 Center Street, but I'm here for 9, 7, and 5. They're doing a lot of they've been doing water work. American Water. The street is completely torn up. They just came back last night for me at 5 and redug. My sewer line backed up. They had cracked 9 sewer line. 7 is backing up. But the water, American Water says their sewer line's not cracked. I just had a plumber out to mine today. And they were able to snake it, but there's definitely some sewer issues. But why I'm mainly here is they've torn up the sidewalks. They've replaced it with asphalt and not concrete. They say American Water says they're gonna come back April, May to when it's warmer to relay that concrete. But they said the street is Bernardsville. And so we want to confirm because right now it's sort of like driving over cobblestones.
Well, it is Bernardsville Street. However, they're obligated to restore it, not Bernardsville per se. American Water is if they open it up. So you would talk to. I
Well, they
guess.
said it's gonna be Bernardsville because it's on one of the streets that's supposed to be repaved. And that the curbing is supposed to be redone on 7. So,
Well, there is some repaving going on over in the corner, but
like on,
that's
which
on
not,
Bernard's Ave, yeah, but. Well,
So they-
you gotta, go ahead.
The water company has to put it back to a passable, right? And they probably made an arrangement with the town.
how would we know that's,
You probably have to call the town DPW department. It's the best person,
okay,
right? They keep track of the schedule.
okay,
And then the road paving jobs just started because asphalt plants are
Yeah.
closed in the winter. So they
Yeah.
open up and so it's probably on schedule, but it should be, the American Water has to put it back to a passable level, or it shouldn't be potholes. It just,
no, they've patched it, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's already, one of them is already starting to sink.
yeah,
It's starting to separate,
Yeah.
and like I said, they just came back last night and basically did a dig that's about the size of your table, put a car in it.
but then they probably made a swap with the municipality, or they paid the municipality, and the municipality said, I'd rather do the whole job.
Okay,
Sometimes what happens with water companies is the limit of disturbance is the limit of repavement. And that's not really great because they don't do the whole road. So they might have made a contribution to the town. I don't know that, but that's conditional how that happened.
okay, so call
I would
DPW.
call the town DPW,
Okay.
ask them what's going on with that, and I would ask them when they anticipate the road to be paved by the town, if that's what they're doing.
Well, also the one spot that you mentioned, if it's, a serious spot, DPW can send out somebody.
They can patch it
Or
all.
patch on emergency, it's really bad.
Okay, and did American Water contact, I'm assuming they contacted the town to say that they were gonna be doing this? I mean, that's 3 houses that have sewer problems.
So they don't do work in the public street without what's called a street opening permit, so they have to come in. Get that approved by the town and they schedule it with the town, right?
Okay.
They do a lot of quick temporary stuff because that's the construction crew for American Water. They hire a paving crew or concrete crew to put the sidewalks in. But if you're having issues and they're not doing it properly, then you should go to, again, the DPW
Okay,
department.
okay,
Yeah, it'd be good to ask them also about any issues you have that you seem to be with the sewer
yeah,
as
okay,
well.
okay, this has been since October. Center Street's like this long,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's been a big project, okay. That's it,
Yeah,
okay, thank you, appreciate it.
good luck. No questions from our scribe back there.
Oh, he's gonna report on it. Talk to him.
Yeah.
He needs a story.
You get ahead of him. Okay, that's it. And so new business review and approval of the bills. Any comments, Denise, about anything? No, everything's good. Make a motion from anyone.
I'll move to pay the bills totaling $3,787.25.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. DeMarco,
Yes.
Ms. Geller,
Yes.
Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Mr. Melia,
Yes.
Mr. Sasso,
yes.
and Mr. Villatiano.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, still no additional new business, okay. No resolutions, no public hearings. Discussion items, so. Resolution compliance regarding Panifico Pugliese, which is, Walters. That's that, so. And changes to architectural plans. Resolution in case you need it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, this
Mr. Chairman, board members, yeah, it's good. Revised plans for resolution compliance. During the course of the hearings, some of the items that were presented on the plans that were referenced in the resolution have changed. Notably, the air conditioning units, they were proposed with variances granted from 0.2 to 2.7 feet up to the rear property line. They were ground mounted air conditioning units. Current plans are showing those on the roof with a 2.8 foot setback off the rear property line.
I'm sorry, what's the setback, 2.8?
2.8.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then the generator was shown tucked closer to the building with a 1 foot setback that has been shifted out. I believe it's 4 feet or 4.1. Still within a 5-yard setback, but it's less of a deviation. They're also showing 3 electric cabinets associated with that generator 3 feet off the property line. So since those items require variances.
Three cabinets.
3 cabinets, yes. And, you know, the plans I gave you, the first copy, which I wrote in red, 3/19/26 revision, that is the current site plan that's been submitted for resolution compliance.
Do we need to, this isn't a public hearing, so
No, this is not a public hearing, this is,
we don't need to mark things.
don't need to mark anything, as I understand, it, correct me if I'm wrong, as well, you're addressing some deviations in the compliance phase of the process post approval. And I anticipate to get guidance from the board with respect to whether an amended application is necessary or these changes could be addressed as, I should say, field changes, but that's the mentioned colloquial term.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
So there's 2 copies, reduced copies of the site plans. The top one's revised March 19/26. That's the latest plan that's been submitted for resolution compliance. The plan below that is revised on November 18/2024. That is the site plan that was referenced in the resolution that was presented to the board. And then below that, architectural plans. 2 sheets of each set. The first set is revised 2/12/26. They are the current architectural plans that have been submitted for resolution compliance. And the plans below that were revised November 22nd, 24. And those were the architectural plans presented to the board during the course of the hearing of reference in the resolution.
Okay,
And so if we look at the biggest thing that jumps out is the architectural elevations where you can see where they're putting the air conditioning units off the rear elevations. Sheet Z2 of each. So that precipitated the question of whether or not this could be approved administratively, or if this was something that you want the applicant to amend their application, come back to the board. We do have a condition 19 in the resolution, which indicates,
That's the one they get from every time, right?
it's a catch-all. The applicant shall construct or propose improvements in strict accordance with the documentary and testimonial evidence, including but not limited to the site plans and architectural renderings and elevations submitted to the board and testified to by the applicant. Speaking with the applicant's engineer, he is hopeful this can be done administratively. But in our latest resolution compliance letter, we indicated that we would need to have an informal discussion with the board, just to get some guidance on whether or not we could approve this administratively, or if they should come back with their amendment.
I don't know what the decibels of those, air conditioning units are, but they're on the roof, they're gonna reflect back over the tracks to the on the other side, right? Basically, the houses. Nice.
Yeah, but they're pretty far off.
I do have a copy of the full size plans if it's helpful. I thought providing these would.
Clarify, the main change was the air conditioning units were in the rear of the building.
On the ground?
Yeah, on the ground.
On the ground, and now they're rear, but on the roof.
And they're just creating a platform over the roof to put the unit on.
Yeah.
And still.
See it from the road?
No.
Yeah, can you just.
Well, you may be able to see it from the right side as you're driving.
Yeah, you see.
But it's still screened.
Right.
Well, it's
Partially.
access.
Yeah, I did ask the engineer if they could be shifted more towards the center of the building, but he was, told with his discussion with their architect that they would need to leave it on the side just for there.
And then the other ones are deviations that increase the setback, is that what you just?
Well, the generator has a larger setback now than what had been
Correct,
proposed.
so.
Yeah, but they're also showing 3 cabinets associated with the generator, which we're not showing.
The generator is actually further than.
Further, yeah,
Yeah.
it had been approved with 1 foot setback, now it's a 4,
Okay.
and then the cabinets are at 3 foot setback.
Still within the one that was approved. Yep.
Yeah,
What was the magnitude of cabinets that were previously not on the plan?
just another deviation that,
No, I mean, yeah, size. I wasn't clear. What's the? How big are they?
I think they're just electrical.
yeah, I mean, they're not, all right, I didn't see dimensions on them, but, yeah, they're not what I would consider.
Can't fathom the need for 3 cabinets, electrical cabinets for a generator, transfer switch. It's certainly not according to electrical standards, so be curious to know what they are doing with 3 cabinets, because not appropriate. That's 1 generator, right?
Yeah,
So it's
as far as I
connected,
know, yeah, one generator,
connected to 1 cabinet, and that the cabinet controls the generator as it start up, and that cabinet has a single
yeah,
relay in it that trips and restores power. So 3 cabinets, not for the generator. It's possible they decided they need a cabinet for the service to run down to, but that would be either that would be a little unusual, yeah. No, just all of it.
is a copy of the latest utility plan. We run the overhead to the cabinets to the building.
That's the only one, the first step. It's the generator.
Generators, cabinets, and.
Is
air
it
conditioning
3, is it
systems.
was 3 panels in a row that, you know, but
Yeah,
I mean, I could see running something, you know, with a main breaker and a meter in 1 cabinet, right? And another one goes to yes, but it's not gonna matter.
One might be for refrigeration and something else, so,
The automatic shutdown modules, they're usually located in they're located at the location of the. Well, where the circuit, main distribution counter is. Does it say, is there anywhere here how big these things are? They're pretty small, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
there's no dimension.
Maybe. Any dimensions on it?
yeah.
So anyway, the larger thing, just, I know, Steve, you asked, but so the generator is. Shifting further away from the property line.
Yes.
Instead of a 1 foot setback that we allow.
It's now, it's getting forward, okay. And
The generator size is the same?
They're showing a bigger pad,
They are.
yeah.
and it's shielded, right? There's noise shielding on it, correct?
I didn't see any.
Make sure there is some noise shielding on it. I can't just be hanging out there, it's gotta be enclosed. But I'm glad to put in a generator. Good.
Was the dumpster enclosure always there?
Yeah.
And over in the left.
Oh, you mean now?
Yeah,
Or on
because I recall we had a big conversation about a truck being able to turn around and pick
Yeah.
up the dumpsters. Now it looks like they're actually creating a little garage to keep them, which is a nice.
Yeah, because we had a whole discussion about shielding it and little critter or animal.
Right.
access.
So that's new.
And we didn't want it to look the way.
Yeah.
So I think they finally designed it.
Nice.
And it's probably not an exception, that is a field change, that's very,
It is designed.
yeah, design. Okay, so 3 boxes, the generator shifting, it's gotta be, noise shielded,
It's larger.
it's a larger generator.
Yeah.
The pad's larger, but that could just be that. Someone said you ought to have a little more room. Does it say the size of the generator here?
Does.
In kilowatt?
20 kW on page 3, but I don't know.
Is it?
But this is the old plan. That's the old plan.
Is the name shown?
Maybe is there,
You know where to look, so. Twenty kW is a resident.
You have any issues with any of them?
When I saw the air conditioner going on the roof, I was like, yeah, I thought that's something you guys should at least
No,
be aware of.
with the generator or the panel, you didn't see any issue.
I don't see it, I didn't see it. Moving it farther away from the property line and probably farther away from the building.
this is, where's the page 5 is the you said, you know, it's just very.
I do have full scale of the
Nah.
architectural sheet, I don't know.
Did you get for
There's somewhere big.
I think.
dinner?
See anything?
No.
Whatever, it's gotta have, it has to be an enclosure. Normally, a generator that size, it always does come in an enclosure. It's not a outrageous thing, so it can't be an open air generator.
I will relay that to them and then.
Something where you live,
Almost like it's in a box.
in a box. It'll be,
I don't have an issue with the generator or the panel.
no,
That
doesn't sound like it.
done with
Yeah.
best. Yeah. I think. the
It's not
question-
impacting the access, right?
No.
Okay.
I think the question is, are we comfortable with the field change for air conditioners?
It's right next to train tracks.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be that much more noisy. It's hidden behind the unit. And we allow, there are many buildings in the town that have air conditioning units on top.
Yeah.
So that allowed for the setback too on the generators. That's an improvement. And the garage is a nice impression in my eyes.
Yeah, I think they went way above, yeah, they needed on the draft.
Yeah, that's super nice.
You good, Bob, with the air conditioner? Is it gonna keep you up at night?
No, just want to make sure we realize that it's okay, and it's,
Yeah, no,
we have to always consider the people on the other side, that,
I listen, that's why we like our professionals, they brought it to our attention, they
Yeah.
didn't just do it themselves.
so,
Yeah.
any other, was there any other item?
No, that was, all I had.
Do you have a status check? Are they all right with the DEP yet?
They're in the process of going through the permits. They do have an agreement with the railroad to clean up the property. It just has to be finalized, signed, and
Is this all the outstanding from our side on the resolution?
as well as finalizing the permits and,
Okay.
yeah. I believe, developers agreement is required, but I think that can be done after plans are signed.
Perhaps did everyone, did they get sewer, is sewer extended to it now, or is that what they're waiting for? It's
I believe that's been approved.
been approved but not implemented. And that'll bring them and the
Or dealership?
car repair and the dealership, right, the Audi, they'll, I guess, be on that same leg of the sewer. And then they just have to cross over, I guess, somewhere, cross over. Okay, it's underway, hasn't been done yet, that's, so,
Oh, yeah, no,
okay,
we're going through the process.
anything else?
No, my biggest concern was the visuals, but I'm trying to think of when I drive that way on 202, I don't think you can see it.
It's pretty far back because it's, the tracks are pretty far back.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate your time.
No, thank you. Yes, you. I'm doing talking. I think you may have more use than them. So nothing has to be adjusted at all.
He has.
Yes.
Steve has to be right in there. Administratively, closing the generator.
Yeah, he's gonna double check. And just note, Steve, also just note, have a note on the plans, it could be red or whatever, what the size is. Kilowatts of that generator. All right. Okay, recreation and open space master plan.
We tried formatting multiple ways. Turned out the AI that we did in the meeting the last time was the best of the worst. We currently have a Word document that all the language is in there. I put it. Yeah. Well, we tried Bob's way. The problem with the formatting there is it almost set it up like a PowerPoint where the headers and footers, you would actually have to move around and it's just gonna be a pain in the butt.
Overly thorough.
Yeah, so proposed we redline the current Word document and then we can work on getting all the other pictures and everything in at a later time. And the document that's currently in Google Docs, which I've tried to give access to everybody.
I finally got it. this
Okay,
afternoon.
yeah, all right. If you have any more problems, send me an email, what have you, but anything I'm getting, I'm pressing approve. I moved chapter 8 and 9. And I haven't changed the headings yet to a new chapter 2 and 3, as we discussed in the last meeting. So you have the introductory chapter, and then it goes right into, hey, here's the future plan, and then the details, how to get there, and then the rest of it is.
And you've used not what was translated, you've used the revised stuff for chapter 2.
No, what was translated is there now, and then we
You need to replace it with the Word files and the Excel file. That I sent you, sent you all of you, but for chapter 7 and chapter 8. There's an Excel spreadsheet that you have, and there's a Word file, I believe, that you have.
Okay,
I mean, I can double check myself.
yeah,
But
no, I think you sent it, yeah, I think everybody has that.
I know, but now they're paying attention, so it's okay. Anyway, so that's a to-do. It's not a problem. It's just a to-do. Okay, you position the spot for it. And then the survey, did you like move that to the back matter? That's one thing you, or is it automatically happen as long as we just do what we
Everything-
did? Everything after is
Is the
additional
detail.
documentation.
Correct.
Okay. What's the approach we're gonna use for getting the pictures?
I think we were talking about the interns. Being able to,
Pictures.
yeah, let's
It
get
may
the
be-
revised Word document, and then we can get to that,
It
and
may
then
be
add your
online.
Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, into the section. And so you brought it up just like before. So in terms of, let's say at least like formatting the headers. How do we do that with, we're saying an intern, or we're saying?
Intern, we can each individually do it as we go. I just wanted to ensure everybody was okay with the document. And then we could start redlining all as a team and go through it that way. And then once we have that, we can work on the formatting. I'd rather get the language right and
Just-
it's something we all have access to.
Does anyone know if AI will take a Word file? And if you tell it to do something, it'll create an adjusted Word file.
If you give it very specific
Instruction.
parameters,
Right.
I don't know how to do it, but I know people. If you give it a lot of information
Right.
and it,
Well, or a very simple task, like go through this and anytime you see header 1, change it to this font.
Yes.
I don't know which AI.
We use CareSource, geez, my company. But yeah, M365 to convert the PDF to a Word format, which it did an okay job with, but lost some of the formatting in terms of the pictures and. It
The
flipped
headers.
some of the the headers, it went from capital letters to lowercase, which is fine. But now it's at least in a Word document that's editable and in decent shape. So we can revise that. Once we get the revisions through, we're all okay with the red lines, then we can play with an AI component to change the headers instead of individually doing it, I think.
Yeah, I was just, well, yeah, like a filter, something where it just sucks it in, says, okay, here's a header. I'm gonna put it all into whatever font, as opposed to now the headers sort of look like someone sent a ransom note. Okay, slide
I use that.
yeah. Anyway, that might be, and maybe have somebody that's more familiar with it. I've never said, okay, here's a question and here's a file for you to work on, so.
My experience with AI has been. The more you draft. The more unexpected changes happen.
Yeah.
It's like a game.
Yes.
So I do think, because I looked at the document and I do think it was probably the best version of whatever we've tried. But I got overwhelmed with the amount of formatting,
Yeah.
cleaning it up. That I think the approach of chunking it out and dividing and conquering. Probably.
And selecting something like we're gonna need to select the font or
I think once you,
or the.
a guide, and then gave me a section, said. This needs to be 0.5 time to,
Right,
this needs to be this,
bullets of this, whatever, those kind of things.
watching the Mets lose, so.
Right.
They won today, but I'm a Met fan, that's it, season one.
Okay.
11 runs.
Wow.
I know, you gotta spread them out, it's a news then, next week.
What else?
Just everyone go in, start editing as you see fit, just when you. It should redline as you go. I think you have to put it in, I'm not a Google Docs expert, but you put it in suggestion mode,
Okay.
which will put it in red lines, and that way everyone can see what we're doing. And then,
And don't get freaked out if someone's making changes at the same time.
yeah, exactly. And once we're all happy with it, we'll convert it. I can pull it out in a Word again, and then we can run it through AI and start playing with the formatting or having specific people fix the headers. But I wouldn't touch the headers until
Okay, so
we're happy
it's-
with the actual language.
Okay, so that would be a guidance, just don't mess with our headers, just leave it as ransom note font.
Yes,
And what about bullets, do you want?
just as long as you track changes, we're okay.
Let's see.
Put it in and
I
then we
meant,
can,
you know, like, there's, okay. And, do we want to invite, some rec department, you know, other rec people to edit? Why not, right?
That's. Up to you.
It's easy to get it's just by email, right? Basically, to
Yeah.
invite.
Yep.
I think that would be, invite them, they don't have to, but they can.
I think something that we're required to present, there should be someone that the borough has, not just a group of us who may or may not know what we're doing. I really think that
It's good to have,
this is, I think we need someone who does this for a living to do this.
does what?
The formatting and everything else, and get it in order, and then we can comment. But to have each of us start going in and trying to edit the formatting.
We're not,
that's what, yeah, I
we're
wouldn't
reading
touch
text, we're
formatting.
just reviewing text,
Oh,
you're not
okay.
doing formatting.
Which is, okay. But don't we? Well, I was just saying it'd be easier to edit if the formatting was done first.
Maybe.
What you're saying is like, you know, just to read through it in its current state.
It takes a little bit of,
Yeah,
I'm not, I was impressed with the suggestions that are in it and the ideas that are in it, and I thank you for doing it. I just think that for something that we are required as a board to do, it should be properly formatted before we start making comments so that we don't miss something. That we can really,
I have to disagree with you. I don't agree with that. I agree. I understand that there should be a point at some point you say, well, we have someone do finishing on it. Okay, consistency doesn't require a lot of knowledge of even the content. It's just looking at it as the finishing step. And we were kind of hoping, okay, you could get an intern to do that, but not a pro. In terms of doing it, just someone who understands. The edit, you know, the word capabilities, I think we gotta get through the material first,
so there's no one who works for the borough who would
We
have
do
these
that?
skills.
but do professional words.
Well, I
nothing?
mean,
Doubt it.
not wordsmithing, but I mean, I just find it's much easier for me. I mean, I still, when I review a document, I still print it out, so it's easier for me to comment without.
I don't think we
If
do,
no-
I mean, I don't know for sure, I doubt that we do have someone that's like. And
If there's an admin who works for the borough, that's all, that's what I was.
Okay, and I mean, I could ask, but then the other thing is the time that would be in. Okay. So that would be a Nancy.
for sure, let's take down, and maybe someone at the library might have somebody that knows. You know, anyone that produces newsletters, but a newsletter is a lot easier than this. I guess the other thing though is to find out
Then
what,
I'm just one vote.
what about is there an intern program? Is there anyone at this school that, you know, that would be interested? Is there a process? for it?
So this is a document we are required to produce. And I think it,
We're hard to accept this. Yes. It's just,
but we're
Then never-
not just accepting it.
we're having to modify it because it's old, and out of date, so.
Probably, if we don't do it, it's never gonna get done.
Right, or we pay somebody to start over.
Or we pay the original firm, but it sounds like the original firm is saying that we have to pay them.
A lot of money. Okay, it was a suggestion, I'm the.
No.
Who finds it significantly easier, so we will move on from this conversation, because everyone has places to be.
Well,
But thank
how do we find out if there is a
Dismissing.
program at the high school or whatever we're in? Would.
Paul?
Just to cover that, right?
Right, we can move on.
Track changing to.
The printer color game. All right,
It's a printout.
it's a lot.
With no pictures, down from 400.
No visitors, no executive.
We could wait till next.
People keep asking me about Palmer. And I don't know, they just asked me, so I said, well, as far as I know,
When we adjourn.
they're still waiting for DOT approval as far as.
We can, we don't need to go, I don't believe we need to go into executive session.
To discuss the
Any
progress,
litigation.
yeah. Yeah, because we're not pending litigation
Well,
for Palmer. Or you can't tell me unless we're in executive session,
Wait, but this is a conversation you can have after the meeting, because
Right.
Palmer's not on the
agenda, yeah, okay. All right,
thank you.
anything,
And just with that.
anything else? Everything's okay,
And the next meeting, the date,
Who's next? She fixed it, it's Paul.
they're all set for the next meeting?
Denise, I will not be here.
I remember that, yes, I actually saw it in my notes. Thank you.
Okay. We're adjourned. Thank you.